Recording in progress.
Hi, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Triple Science, how the course is put together and how it's different to the Trilogy Science, and why you might want to choose it as your option for GCSE. At the end of the slides, there's going to be a little bit about where science can take you and why you might be interested in taking science further. So, first of all then, everybody does science. You either do Trilogy or you choose to do the separate sciences, which is known as triple science. Both do biology, chemistry, and physics. So you have to do all three science subjects. One of the differences, though, is that with Trilogy, there's only 9 hours of science a fortnight, whereas with triple science, you do 14 hours of science a fortnight. And then the grades that you end up with will be slightly different too. With triple sciences, you get 3 separate GCSE grades, one for each of the subjects. So you get a biology grade, a physics grade, and a chemistry grade. Whereas with Trilogy, you get 2 grades across the 3 subjects. So all 3 subjects are taken into account when giving both of your GCSE grades. It forms kind of an average. How is it different then? Well, sometimes there are additional topics that are studied at triple science. So there's a whole extra topic in biology, which is the homeostasis. In chemistry, there's organic reactions, polymers, and how we use our resources. And then in physics, you study forces and pressure, space, and light. And those topics aren't studied in the Trilogy course at all. Additionally, there might be some extra detail in some of the topic areas. So, for example, everybody in biology studies the human nervous system. However, at triple science, you will also look at the brain and the eye in addition to reflex actions. And that's the same with chemistry and physics. You might do some topics that are the same as the Trilogy students, but there might be extra levels of detail and extra aspects to each of those topics, making it more detailed and enhancing your understanding. With regards to assessments then, you have 6 papers for both separate sciences and for Trilogy, for triple science and for Trilogy. They're all at the end of year 11, and all of the exams include some sort of assessment of your practical skills within those written papers. The difference, though, is that for the triple science, for the separate sciences, the exams are half an hour extra in length, but you still do 2 exams in biology, 2 in chemistry, and 2 in physics, and that's just so that the extra detail that you've studied over the 2 years can be assessed. That's why you have the extra half an hour. Few things to note if you're considering triple science. You don't have to do separate sciences in order to do any of our A-levels. So if you're thinking a couple of years ahead and you think you might like to study a science at A-level, but you're not sure whether you want to do triple science, it's not going to stop you doing those A-levels. We do ask for a GCSE grade of 6 or above to access any of our A-level courses, and we advise that that's the case in maths and English as well. It just helps your understanding of the papers and allows you to achieve the best grades possible at A-level. Our exam results have been excellent for the triple groups for the last few years, and we don't see that changing over the next couple. So, in deciding whether or not it's for you, if you've got an interest in science, yes, it's for you. And if you enjoy it, then yes, it's definitely for you. Remember, it's 14 hours of science a fortnight. So that could mean that you've got 2 science lessons in a day. It might even mean that you have 2 of the same science lessons in a day. So like 2 biology lessons or 2 physics lessons, for example. So you do need to enjoy it and have an interest if you're happy with that. You need to be an independent learner. Sometimes we'll ask you to do things and find things out for yourselves. If you're happy to do that, then yes, separate sciences are for you. It's quite a lot of information to retain, and if you're good at that, you might like to think about triple science. We hope that by the end of the course you become a logical thinker. So if you're not already, we hope that the way our course is structured will help you to become quite logical in your thinking. And you might have aspirations for a specific career that requires you to have a knowledge of science. And if you're set on that career, then doing triple science might help you in that path. But like I said, you don't have to have triple science in order to do any of the A-levels. The next few slides then give you some ideas about where science can take you. Thanks a lot. We look forward to seeing you next year.
Science is a big human form of knowledge. We are always at the brink of the known. Science is a collaborative enterprise spanning the generations. We remember those who prepared the way, seeing through them also. If you're scientifically literate, the world looks very different to you, and that understanding empowers you.
There's real poetry in the real world. Science is the poetry of reality.
We can do science, and with it, we can improve our lives.
There's real poetry in the real world. Science is the poetry of reality.
The story of humans is a story of ideas that shine light into dark corners.
Scientists love mysteries. They love not knowing.
I don't feel frightened by not knowing things. I think it's much more interesting.
There's a larger universal reality of which we are all a part.
The further we probe into the universe, the more remarkable are the discoveries we make.
The quest for the truth in and of itself is a story that's filled with insights.
There's real